Hello students, welcome to our online video tutorial class. I think you have seen the previous video, whatever I have made on the chapter Animal Kingdom, and in that specific video we have already completed up to the phylum Ctenophora. So in that video I have mentioned that from the phylum Platyhelminths we will be starting in the next video. So today I have come with the next phylum, that is the Platyhelminths. Keep it in your mind, the organisms who are belonging from the Platyhelminths, they are also known as flatworms, tapeworms or flukes. So first of all, in this specific phylum we need to know the general features. First of all, if you go for the meaning of the word Platyhelminths, that meaning is platy means flat and helminths means worm. That means in case of which specific organism the structure is flat and those organisms are worm like, they are commonly known as Platyhelminths. First of all, in case of these organisms we need to see regarding their habitat. Exclusively they are parasitic or few are free living. Body organization, obviously their body organization is organ level of body organization. Body plan, that is blind sac body plan, or we can say rather tube within tube body plan, because they are having a tube like structure and within that there is another tube, or you can also consider them as a blind sac body plan, because they are actually Platyhelminths is actually present in between these both of the body plans. Symmetry, they are exclusively bilaterally symmetrical organisms. Coelom, if you will see, they are not having any coelom, that means they are acoelomate organisms. They are having 3 germ layers, so for that reason they are commonly known as triploblastic organisms. Next point is that if you see the segmentation, you can't see the true metamerism or true segmentation. So for that reason that is commonly known as pseudo-metamerism. If you see the fate of the blastopore of these organisms, exclusively the blastopore is forming the mouth at first. So for that reason these organisms are commonly known as protostomia organisms. Next, the circulatory system, that means in case of these organisms circulatory system is totally absent. No such kind of open or closed circulatory system present. If you go for the respiratory system, there you will see their respiratory system is happening through their body surface and that is covered by the cuticular layer or through the cuticle. Excretory system, that is exclusively performed by the structure that is protonephria, or rather you can say that is performed by the phlegm cell. Nervous system, their nervous system is the simpler nervous system and that is ladder like. Digestion, that is intracellular, that means within each and every cell the digestion is taking place. Alimentary canal, that is incomplete alimentary canal, maybe it is starting from the mouth but it is not finishing in the anus. Sexual form, they are bisexual, that means in one body both of the sex organs can be present. Development is indirect, that means they are having the larval form. Reproduction is, they can perform asexual reproduction and that is by the regeneration process. Next and the last point in this page, that is regarding the fertilization, and the fertilization is happening within the female body, that's why it is the internal type of fertilization. Now we have come to the special features. In case of these special features, keep it in your mind, few organisms are parasitic, so for that reason they are having hooks and suckers by which they can absorb the nutrients from the living organism's body or from the host's body. Some of them they are absorbing nutrients from the most directly through their body surface also. Keep it in your mind, Planaria is an organism which is belonging from the phylum Platyhelminths and they are having the regeneration capacity. So this is obviously a special feature for phylum Platyhelminths. Now just we can see in this slide that there are various kinds of organism. As an example, the Planaria, which is commonly known as flatworm, their picture we can see here. This is the Tinea, that is commonly known as tapeworm, Tinea solium. So this is also belonging from this phylum of Platyhelminths. And there is also a liver fluke, that is Fasciola hepatica. So this is also the representative organism of phylum Platyhelminths. So these 3 organisms, their photograph is actually given here. There are so many organisms are also present in this world who are belonging from each of the phylum, but I have actually shown those organisms which are actually mentioned in your NCERT book. Several other organisms are also present, but those organisms I have not included in the slide. Now we are going for the next phylum, that is the Nematoda. Keep it in your mind, this specific type of phylum, they can be also called as Helminths, because this specific phylum is made up of some of the worms who are actually thread like, as well as in case of this specific type of organisms who are belonging from this phylum Nematoda, they are containing a modified mouth, or rather you can say the muscular pharynx. So for that reason they are also can be called as helminths. That means ask means mouth. So in case of those specific helminths or worm whose ask or mouth is well developed, they are actually placed within this specific phylum. So in case of phylum Nematoda, first of all we need to know regarding the general features. So in the general features, whatever the features we can see, already the meaning we have already discussed. Nema means thread and helminth means worm, that means thread like worm, or actually the well modified mouth containing worm. They are actually belonging from this. First of all, habitat, exclusively they are parasitic and they can be also free living. Body organization, that is organ level of body organization can be found for them. Body plan, obviously they are having tube like body structure, and within that another tube is present, that is alimentary canal. So for that reason they are having tube within tube body plan. Symmetry, obviously they are having the bilateral symmetry because the body can be divided into equal halves. Coelom, obviously coelom is pseudocoelomate, that is the true coelom is not present, rather the coeloms are present in a pouch form. Germ layers, they are having the 3 germ layers, that's why they are commonly known as triploblastic. Metamerism, you can see they are not having any metamerism because the metamerism is starting from the Annelida first. So before Annelida, not a single phylum is having metamerism. Fate of blastopore. Fate of blastopore is actually the blastopore which is present. They are forming the mouth at first. That's why they are belonging from the category of protostomia. Circulatory system. Circulatory system is totally absent because they are not having any open as well as closed circulatory system. Respiratory system, that is the system which is actually happening through the layer of cuticle. So that's why respiratory system is also present. Excretory system. Excretory system is commonly performed by a special kind of cell, that is the rennet cell, and keep it in your mind they are amonotelic in nature. Nervous system. Nervous system is exclusively of ladder like. Okay. Digestion. Digestion is intercellular, that means it is not happening within the cell, rather it is happening outside of the cell. Next, alimentary canal. Alimentary canal is a type of the structure which is complete starting from the mouth to the anus, and keep it in your mind this alimentary canal is straight also. Sexual forms, they are exclusively unisexual. Within one body only one sex organ is present, in another body another sex organ you will be getting. Development, they can be direct development showing organism, or sometimes the larva can be also found, that means indirect development can be found. Reproduction, sexual exclusively. Fertilization within the female body, that's why it is internal. Coming to the special features, the worm who are actually belonging from this specific phylum Nematoda, they are exclusively roundworm because they are round shaped. They are having well developed muscular pharynx also, so for that reason they can be called as helminths. Excretory tube is present which is actually responsible to remove the excretory materials with excretory pores. Females are also present which are longer than the males. Keep it in your mind. Females are longer than the male. Next, we are going for the diagrams or the photographs of various organisms who are belonging from phylum Nematoda or Helminths. First one, that is Ascaris, roundworm. Second one, Ascaris is always causing the disease Ascariasis, and there is a difference, that is the male and female. Okay. This is the Wuchereria bancrofti, that is commonly known as filarial worm, which is causing filariasis or elephantiasis. And another worm is also there, that is the Encyclostoma, that is commonly known as hookworm. So these 3 organisms, their names are actually written in your NCERT. So according to that, I have just shown the photograph how they are actually looking in this specific slide. I have included them only. Now we are going for the next phylum, and that is phylum Annelida. First of all, when we are starting with the Annelida, first of all we need to know what is the meaning of the Annelida. Annulus, the word means ring. So these specific organisms are actually differentiated into multiple ring-like structures, and those rings are actually sequentially present and form the entire body of annelids. So for that reason their name has been given Annelida. Now we will be discussing their general features. First of all, habitat. They are exclusively terrestrial, few are aquatic. Body organization, obviously system level of body organization can be found, organ system level of body organization. Body plan, that is obviously tube within tube body plan can be found. Symmetry, bilateral symmetry, their body can be divided into equal halves along the longitudinal plane. Coelom, if you see, that is exclusively schizocoelomates. What is schizocoelomate? I am just clearly telling you. they are exclusively eucoelomate, but in case of eucoelomate also there are two categories has been produced. One is schizocoelomate, another one is enterocoelomate. So in case of schizocoelomate, those organisms are kept, actually if you see, the coelom is actually produced from the mesodermal band. Again I am repeating, if you see in case of any of the organism, the coelom is produced from the mesodermal band, then those organisms are commonly known as schizocoelomate organisms. And enterocoelomate means in case of those organisms the coelom is producing the enteron or the gut. So those organisms are kept within the category of enterocoelomate. So keep it in your mind, the schizocoelomate are exclusively the type of the coelomate which is found in case of annelids. Germ layer, 3 germ layers are present, clearly triploblastic. Metamerism, obviously homonymous and metamerism can be found. That means body is differentiated into multiple metameres, and keep it in your mind, those metameres are also similarly looking. That's why they are known as homonymous metamerism. If you see regarding the fate of blastopore, you can see that blastopore is forming the mouth at first, so for that reason they are protostomia. Next point is exclusively regarding the circulatory system. Keep it in your mind, in case of annelids, the blood vessels are present which are closed. So due to presence of the closed blood vessel, keep it in your mind, their circulatory system will be closed. And another very important point is that is they are actually containing erythrocruorine, and that erythrocruorine is exclusively red in color. Respiratory system is exclusively of performed by the help of skin. Next, excretory system is actually nephridia, it is performed by the nephridia, and keep it in your mind, they are urigotelic because they are releasing urea. Nervous system, that is circumpharyngeal nerve ring, keep it in your mind, they are circumpharyngeal nerve ring containing, because the nerve ring which is present, that is surrounding the circumference of pharynx. Digestion, they are intercellular digestion, that means that is happening outside of the cell, that means within alimentary canal. Alimentary canal is complete and that is straight also. Sexual forms, they are unisexual, that means in case of nereis, as well as bisexual can be also, that is as an example earthworm. Development, they can be showing the direct development or indirect development. If the indirect development can be found, that is the in case of trochophore larva, due to presence of the trochophore larva it is indirect development. Next, reproduction can be found, that is a sexual reproduction, and fertilization type is internal or external type of fertilization. Now if you go for the special features of the phylum Annelida, you can see they possesses longitudinal and circular muscles which help in the locomotion. Throughout their entire length of the body they are having circular muscle as well as longitudinal muscle, for which they are actually helping in the locomotion. Next, aquatic annelids like nereis possesses lateral appendages called parapodia which helps in swimming. Keep it in your mind, the aquatic annelids which are present, those are actually nereis and they are actually producing the lateral appendages, and those lateral appendages are commonly called as parapodia which helps in swimming. Next, neural system consists of paired ganglia connected by lateral nerves to a double ventral nerve cord. Keep it in your mind, the neural system which is present that consists of paired ganglia, keep it in your mind. So they are connected also by the help of lateral nerves and to a double ventral nerve cord. Double ventral nerve cord is present. Some of the annelids who are parasitic contains multiple sucker. Keep it in your mind, the annelids which are present here who are parasitic exclusively, they are having multiple suckers for sucking the nourishment from the host body. Now just we are coming to the next specific slide where we can see the various organisms belonging from this phylum Annelida. Keep it in your mind, this is the nereis which is called as sandworm, and this is the free living annelids, they are not parasitic. And this is also another free living annelid, that is the Ferritima, that is earthworm, and another parasitic annelid that can be the Hirudinaria, and they are the blood sucking parasites. Okay, so this specific type of leech. So these organisms are belonging from phylum Annelida, and within this specific organism is bisexual, that is earthworm, and this is actually unisexual, containing single sex organ. Coming to the Arthropoda, that is the next phylum after Annelida. When we are starting with the Arthropoda, first of all we need to know the general features. In the general features, first of all we need to remember that Arthropoda, if you break the term, you will getting arthros and podos. Arthros means jointed and podos means legs. So in case of those organisms who are having jointed limbs or jointed legs, they are commonly known as Arthropoda. First of all, habitat. If you see arthropoda organism, they can be terrestrial, they can be aquatic, any type of habitat they can show. Body organization, obviously system level of body organization, organ system level of body organization. Body plan, if you will see, that is tube within tube body plan. Symmetry, if the symmetry can be found, that is the bilateral symmetry. Coelom, if you see the coelom also, they are exclusively hemocylomate because they are containing the hemolymph. Germ layers, that is 3 germ layers are present, that is triploblastic. Next, metamerism, which is commonly found, that is heteronymous type of metamerism, that is the external type of the metamerism which can be found. Fate of the blastopore, that is protostomia, because keep it in your mind, their mouth will be produced first from the blastopore, so that's why they are protostomia. Circulatory system, that is open circulatory system. Insect, for them obviously the blood is colorless and that is present within the cavity, that is hemocoel. Respiratory system, they can perform it by the help of grill. As an example, crustacean organisms like prawn, they are performing the respiration by gills. In case of merostomata, that means in case of living fossil king crab, they are performing their respiration by the help of book gill. As well as in case of arachnid, like that spiders, they are having book lung for their respiration, and various other insects, all other insects, they are actually containing trachea and spiracle, which are helping them for further respiratory process. Excretory system, keep it in your mind, they are having, in case of crustacea, that means in case of prawns, they are having green gland for excretion. Arachnida, that means like spiders, as well as properly in their body, coxal gland is present. And keep it in your mind, in case of insects, that is malpighian tubules are actually present, which are responsible for the excretory system. Nervous system, keep it in your mind, they are having circumesophageal nerve ring. They are having circumesophageal nerve ring, that is a nerve ring which is surrounding the esophagus region. Keep it in your mind, digestion is exclusively intercellular digestion can be found. That means which is not happening within the cell, rather outside of the cell. That means within the alimentary canal. Alimentary canal is complete, and keep it in your mind, that is coiled also. It is not straight. Sexual forms, they are exclusively unisexual because within the each and every body, each and every sex organ is present. Development is direct development, and indirect development also can be found. For few they are direct, for few indirect development, and indirect development if it is found, that is obviously by the insect larva. As an example, in case of butterfly, caterpillar is the larval form. Reproduction, obviously sexual, and fertilization can be external. Sometimes it can happen within the female body, that is internal. Special features, keep it in your mind, the phylum Arthropoda organisms, they are the largest phylum under the animal kingdom. All of the maximum organisms are belonging from this phylum. Over 2/3 of the all named species on the earth are arthropods. That means which of the organisms are discovered within that 2/3 is arthropod. Body is covered by chitinous exoskeleton, that means the exoskeletal structure or the covering that is made up of chitin. Body is differentiated into head, thorax and abdomen, these 3 portions. They have jointed appendages also. Sensory organs are present such as antennae, eyes, and within the eye compound eye and simple eye both are present, compound mostly present. And they are having statocyst, and that statocyst is exclusively the balancing organ present. And keep it in your mind, they are mostly oviparous, that means they are egg laying mammal, or they are egg laying organisms. So these are the special features which are commonly found in case of phylum Arthropoda. Now just I am showing you few of the organisms. These are the economically important pests, and within that honeybee is present, that is Apis indica. Second, silkworm is present, that is the Bombyx mori, and lac insect is actually present, that is the Laccifer sp. So these specific organisms are actually exclusively economically important. Keep it in your mind, these are economically important organisms. Next, they are actually having the vectors. Keep it in your mind, the vectors are also belonging from the kingdom, phylum Arthropoda, and within the specific vectors, keep it in your mind, Anopheles mosquito is there. Except the Anopheles mosquito, Culex mosquito is also there, as well as Aedes mosquito is there, because these are all organisms, these all mosquito types are actually vector of various diseases. They are carrying disease causing pathogens. Next, there is a presence of gregarious pest. Gregarious pest means there is a type of the pest which is causing a huge harm to the crop fields. So this kind of pests are commonly known as gregarious pest, and within that locusta or locust. Just few days back we have got the information that in some of the area of the West Bengal as well as in our country, the crop fields are getting destroyed by the help of locusts. So this is that organism which is causing the destruction. Miles to miles of the crop field, they can just eat up. This is the limulus, that is the living fossil. This is also under the Merostomata category, and this is also belonging from the phylum Arthropoda. Butterfly is there also, scorpion is also there, and prawn is also there. These three organisms are also belonging from the phylum Arthropoda, and within that butterfly is belonging from the Insecta, scorpion is belonging from Arachnida, and prawn is belonging from Crustacea. Okay, and this living fossil, this is belonging from Merostomata, this is belonging from Insecta, these three mosquito types are belonging from Insecta, and these all are belonging from Insecta. That means these all are insects, and after that this is the Merostomata, and this one is Insecta, this is Arachnida, with that spider also can be, and this is the Crustacea. So these are actually various subclasses under the phylum and Arthropoda. Now we will be entering within the next phylum, that is the phylum Mollusca. So phylum Mollusca, keep it in your mind, these specific organisms are soft bodied animal, and their body is covered by a shell like structure. So for that reason these organisms are commonly known as molluscan organisms or mollusks. Okay, now these specific organisms general feature we need to see. First of all, mollusk means soft bodied animal, and that is covered by a shell like structure. First, habitat, if you see, exclusively they are terrestrial and mostly aquatic. Body organization is organ system level of body organization. Body plan, that is tube within tube body plan. Symmetry, obviously bilateral symmetry if you segregate their body into two equal halves along the longitudinal plane. Coelom, if you see, they are hemocoelomate, that means they are having the hemolymph within the coelom. They are having three germ layers, that's why they are triploblastic. Segmentation, they are not having any segmentation. Phaetobla blastopore, they are obviously protostomia because the blastopore forms the mouth at first. Circulatory system, open circulatory system, and within that hemocyanin is present, that is a pigment, blue colored pigment, and that is the fluid is present within, fluid is actually present within the hemocoel, and the fluid is hemolymph. Respiratory system, if you see, respiratory system is made up of cnidia as well as lung. These two are present as a respiratory organ. Excretory system, they are having metanephridia or organ of Bogenus as an excretory organ, and they can be ammonotelic, they can be uricotelic also. They can be ammonotelic, they can be uricotelic also. Nervous system, they are having the nerve ganglion with commissures and connectives. Keep it in your mind, nerve ganglions are actually with commissures and connectives. Digestion, they are intercellular digestion showing organisms. Alimentary canal, they are exclusively complete and coiled alimentary canal present. Sexual forms, they are unisexual organisms. Development, indirect or direct development can be found. That is, that indirect development is obviously when it is performed, obviously the larval forms are Glochidium larva, Veliger larva, and Trophophore larva. These are the various larval forms which can be found during the development process. Reproduction is exclusively the sexual reproduction can be found for them, and fertilization is the external and internal fertilization can be commonly found. Now we are coming to the special features. In the special features we can see that this is the second largest phylum of the world. Body is covered by calcareous shell. Body is unsegmented with a distinct head, muscular foot, and visceral hump. Keep it in your mind. Soft and spongy layer of skin forms a mantle over the visceral hump. Keep it in your mind. Soft and spongy layer is present which is forming a covering based on which is present on their visceral hump, and that covering is commonly known as mantle. The space which is present between the hump and the mantle, that is called as mantle cavity. The cavity which is present in between the hump, visceral hump, and the mantle, that is known as mantle cavity, in which feather like gills are present. Next point is that the anterior head region, that is having that is containing the sensory tentacles, and the mouth is also present which is containing the file like rasping organ. File like means very sharp sword like rasping organ, that is commonly known as radula. So this is the second largest phylum after Arthropoda, having calcareous shell. Body is divided into head, muscular foot, and visceral hump. Just above the visceral hump there is a covering that is commonly known as mantle. Next, the space which is present in between the mantle and the visceral hump, that is known as mantle cavity, in which feather-like gills are present. Next, they are having the sensory tentacle at the anterior of the head, and they are having the rasping organ or the chewing organ, and that is called as radula. So let's see the organisms belonging from phylum Mollusca. So this is the apple snail or the pila, which is the representative organism of the phylum Mollusca. This is also another phylum Molluscan organism picture, that is a pearl oyster, that is Pinctada fucata, that is exclusively the pearl oyster. This is the cuttlefish, that is Sepia sp, that is also a type of mollusk. This is squid, that is commonly known as Loligo sp, that is also a mollusk organism. Next, this is a devilfish, or it can be also called, common name is Octopus sp, or scientific name is Octopus sp. So these organisms are also from mollusk organism. Keep it in your mind, this octopus is actually the organism which are not having any kind of shell externally, it is present inside. Aplysia is also there, Aplysia sp, that is commonly known as sea hare. And then dentalium is present, that is looking like a tusk of the elephant, and Chaetopleura is present, that is commonly known as chiton. So these four organisms are also belonging from phylum Mollusca. Okay, so the common name and scientific names are properly written in these specific two slides. Now we have come to the last phylum under the invertebrate, and that is phylum Echinodermata. In case of phylum Echinodermata, if you see the general feature, first of all, the meaning of the Echinodermata has to be clear to everyone. Echinus word means spine and derma means skin, that means on the surface of the skin who are having spine-like structure, they are commonly known as Echinodermata. Now the point is, in case of this echinoderm, the habitat is exclusively marine, aquatic exclusively. Body organization, that is organ system level of body organization, can be found. Body plan, tube within tube body plan, there is no other body plan can be found. Symmetry, they are pentamerous radial symmetry can be found, because their body can be divided into 5 equal halves. But in case of their larval form, if you see, they are showing the bilateral symmetry. Coelom, they are enterocoelomate organism, because the coelom is further producing enter on our gut. Germ layer, triploblastic. Segmentation is no segmentation can be found for them. Fate of blastopore, that will be forming the deuterostomia, so because their blastopore will be forming the mouth later, anus will be formed first, so for that reason they are deuterostomia. Circulatory system, they are having the water vascular system, WVS, so through which the water will be moving through their internal portions of the body, and through which various kind of substances exchanges can happen. Respiratory system is happening by the help of the locomotory organ, that is the tube feet, that is responsible for the respiration, that is responsible for uptaking the food also. Excretory system, they are having water vascular system, and that is they are actually exclusively ammonotelic, because they are releasing ammonia. Nervous system, they are having oral and aboral nerve ring. Oral nerve ring means oral surface is actually the lower surface and aboral surface is the dorsal surface. So along the oral surface, along the aboral surface, they are having a ring-like structure made up of nerve. Digestion, that is intercellular, that means out of the cell the digestion is taking place within the alimentary canal. Alimentary canal is complete and straight, keep it in your mind. Sexual forms, exclusively unisexual. Development, that is indirect development can be found, that means they are having the larval form. Reproduction, that is sexual reproduction, and fertilization is a type of external fertilization commonly can be found. So these are the general features. Now we are just coming for the next slide. There the special features of this Echinodermata has been written. These animals have an endoskeleton which is made up of calcareous ossicles, hence that their name is Echinodermata. So they are having the endoskeleton also, which is made up of calcareous ossicles. They are having free swimming larvae also. They are having free swimming larvae. Okay. They have two body surfaces. One is oral surface, that is the lower surface, and aboral surface, that is the back surface or dorsal surface. They are having water vascular system through which they can perform respiration, excretion, exchange of various kind of substances, locomotion, capture and transport of the food, and respiration, all these activities. So for that reason the water vascular system is present in their body. Shortly it is called as WVS. Now we will be seeing the organisms belonging from phylum Echinodermata. You can see the first organism, that is the starfish, Asterias sp. This is the sea urchin, that is Echinus sp. This is a sea lily, it is looking like a lily flower, sea lily, that is Anteron sp. This is sea cucumber, that is Cucumaria sp, and this is brittle star, looking like a star, so brittle star Ophiura sp. So these specific organisms, starfish, sea urchin, sea lily, then Cucumaria or sea cucumber, then brittle star, these organisms are belonging from phylum Echinodermata. And with phylum Echinodermata, our study regarding the invertebrate is getting finished. After invertebrate, there is one more phylum is coming, which is commonly known as Hemichordata. From the name you can see, Hemichordata means these organisms are containing half notochord or half chorda. So they are having some features like invertebrate, as well as they are having some features like vertebrate. So for that reason they are classified as the phylum Hemichordata, because they are having half notochord. Okay, so let's see their general features, and they are also looking like a worm that we have seen in this specific picture. Hemichordata or hemichordate. Hemi means half and chord means notochord. So in case of which organism the notochord is half, only restricted in the mouth region, they are commonly known as hemichordate. Keep it in your mind, these organisms are also known as stomochord, because already the reason I have told, because it is restricted in the mouth region. Habitat, aquatic only. Body organization, organ system level of body organization. Body plan, obviously tube within tube body plan. Symmetry, without any hesitation, bilateral symmetry, their body can be separated into two equal halves. Coelom, exclusively they are enterocylomate, because that will be producing the gut or enteron. Next, germ layer, they are having 3 germ layers, that's why they are triploblastic. Segmentation, they are having no segmentation in their body, that means metamerism not found. Fate of the blastopore, they are exclusively deuterostome, because their mouth will be formed later. Beforehand they were anus will be formed. Circulatory system, that is open type of circulatory system. Respiratory system is actually happening through the gills, they are having the gills like the fishes. Excretory system, that is exclusively by a special gland that is commonly known as proboscis gland. Nervous system, that is exclusively complex nervous system. Digestion is intercellular, that means not having within the cell, out of the cell, specifically within alimentary canal. Alimentary canal is complete and straight, starting from mouth to the anus. Sexual forms, they are unisexual, and development is indirect, because they are having the larval form maybe. Reproduction, they are doing the sexual mode of reproduction, and fertilization is external fertilization. Now we have come to the special features of this specific organism who are belonging from Hemichordate. Hemichordate have a rudimentary structure in the collar region or the mouth region, that's why they are called as stomochord. Keep it in your mind, notochord which is also present, that is the precursor form, that is the rudimentary structure, and that is present only restricted in the collar region and mouth region. That's why this structure is similar to the notochord. This group consists of a small group of worm-like marine animals. Keep it in your mind, this specific phylum is containing small group of worm-like animals, and they are marine animals. Keep it in your mind, body is divided into 3 parts. Whatever the 3 parts, one is anterior proboscis, a collar and a long trunk. So the proboscis anterior portion, then collar portion is present, that is the neck, and the long trunk is present, that is the body. So just I am showing you the picture, you can understand properly. This is the proboscis, this is the head portion, this is the collar portion, rather you can say this is the neck, and after that this is the elongated body. And in the elongated body, keep it in your mind, here the branchiogenital region is present. Branchiogenital region means these are actually containing the gill-like structure through which the respiration can take place. Genital region is present, that means ovum and those other specific genital structures can be found here. And hepatic region, that means this region is exclusively like the liver-like structure is present, and at last the anus is present. That means their body is subdivided into proboscis, collar, and this is the entire portion, that is the trunk. Keep it in your mind, within the specific hemichordate, the example will be balanoglossus and saccoglossus. So this is the body plan of the balanoglossus, body parts of the balanoglossus. The balanoglossus will be looking like this, and this is the saccoglossus. And these two organisms are representing the phylum Hemichordata. So up to this, I think you have all understood properly whatever the points we have discussed today up to the phylum Hemichordata, starting from phylum Platyhelminths, and I think you have understood clearly each and every point whatever I have discussed in various slides, as well as I think you have enjoyed this video a lot. So thank you everyone, thanks a lot for seeing this video. Thanks everyone.